Yeah, I was firstly before we take questions, I just want to acknowledge Mike Kelly's performances and what he's brought to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Um, as you all probably aware, Mike's a dear friend of mine that goes way back before our time in Phoenix together. But he's a huge basketball identity, and it's been a tough 24 hours for us with this. Mike's been unbelievable in the way he's handled things. He's been very gracious, understanding, and just wanted to thank Mike for everything he's brought to the club and everything that he's done in basketball thus far.
Simon, how did you come to the decision to move Mike
I think the decision is one that's been very difficult, but coming in the sense that it was. We wanted to make sure that he was given the opportunity to turn things around. After an 0-4 start, we had a full week of training to prep the team the best as possible, and there's certain things that Mike was really pushing to turn around as regards to performance with the team, and unfortunately on Saturday night we weren't able to turn those things around.
So when you talk like that, did he lose the playing group? Is there a sense of that? They couldn't respond to what he was trying to push?
I don't think it's about losing the playing group. I think it's about the values and the points of emphasis that Mike was pushing weren't perhaps not being adhered to or weren't being fulfilled. And we just feel going forward that we may be able to push this team in another direction.
So did you flag ahead of time to Mike that if the poor results continued, that his role would be untenable?
No. This is not at all. This was purely based on our processes and the way that we prepare, and the things that we wanted to see on the floor weren't there. And unfortunately, we feel that another voice will push this team forward.
So when did you start thinking about potentially bringing in a replacement?
We met after the game Saturday night to discuss what the future looks, and we moved yesterday morning. We caught up with Mike and we had our discussions as to what's going to be the best way forward, and this is what we've come to.
There was no prior groundwork to the meeting yesterday?
No prior groundwork
As in looking for another coach?
Oh, no. Look, we're assessing our performances and we know the key areas that we're looking to get better at. So that's a constant assessment on a weekly basis, but it wasn't down that road in regards to inviting or engaging other coaches or anything like that. So we've come to that point now, and now that process will take place.
Did you go into that Brisbane game sort of knowing that there's a loss here, this is probably the end for Mike?
No, we went into the Brisbane game looking to win and wanting to see the performances and the things that were being emphasised take place.
You've got Sammy as an interim right now. What's the process like as far as finding a full-time coach?
Yeah, so now we've met this morning. We met yesterday with Sam. He's the interim head coach. We will meet with management and ownership, and we will scour the planet and domestically to find candidates that we think can lead this team forward.
Do you have an ideal timeline when you want to implement that person?
We want to do this as quickly as possible, but at the same time, we're going to take our time. So we've got to find that sweet spot where we get the right person to lead this team into the future.
Do you feel like the players need to take some accountability for this as well? You mentioned something about the values.
Yeah, I think whenever we have a situation that we've found ourselves in, everyone's got to shoulder a little burden and some responsibility. We have some players that are down on form at the moment, but one of the things that we believe is that they can turn that form around a little quicker with the leadership of somebody else.
What was their reaction?
Well, it's varied. As you'd imagine, it's a large playing group, but very professional. One of the things with this group is they're very united. They're very solid. They're really good people, and I think they're looking at this as really unfortunate, but an opportunity for them to turn this around.
Was Mike looking to make any personnel changes himself before he became the one?
No, that wasn't up for discussion, no.
Can you give us an idea of who put this roster together?
The roster is the roster that Mike wants. So when we convene the off-season, we go through options for each position, and we assist Mike in putting this together.
So an 0-5 start, obviously Mike is the person who's fallen on the sword, but do you take ownership for some of the issues as well?
In regards to,
In regards to being the GM of basketball.
okay, yeah,
puts
sure,
this roster
okay,
together with Mike.
yeah. So yeah, like, I think we all do, but we believe in this group. We believe this roster can actually do really well, and we think whilst 0-5, we've got 23 games to go, we can still make a run, as we saw last year with Illawarra, and we've seen in the AFL season just gone with Brisbane and Hawthorn. So yeah, we feel like there is a turnaround in this group. And as I said, like, this group's really positive. This group's really solid. They believe in each other, and we believe in them.
Are you either planning for or anticipating any potential roster changes?
We haven't gone that far. No, at this point in time, we're dealing with what the coaching situation.
Is Sam interested in the job permanent?
Absolutely. Yeah, no. When we had our discussion with Sam, straight away he said, yeah, I'd like to be considered, and we will consider him.
What does your ideal coach look like from your perspective?
Yeah, it's a good question. The ideal coach will present themselves. So we'll field a number of candidates, scour through them, and I think when we've gone through through all of the resumes, gone through all of the interviews, and we've had our conversations, I think they'll reveal themselves.
In the early going, is there anything particular that you're looking for that would sort of, spark your interest?
I think anyone who's really strong in accountability areas, strong in leadership, and sees a team and sees the team for what it is, and feel that they can win with this squad.
Is your feel that the new head coach would be here for a long-term build, or is this like a win-now situation?
I feel like we have the talent, and we believe in this roster that we can still salvage this season. So yeah, it's about coming in and getting fulfilling the potential that's in this group, and bringing that person in that we feel can do that the best.
Simon, talk a bit about Nathan Sobey. He's obviously had a tough start to his time in southeast Melbourne. He went to the bench on the weekend and didn't really work out. I understand there's some frustrations there on his side. Have you spoken with him and talking about how things are going to go moving forward with him?
Yeah, no, I've spoken with Sobes. I got a hold of him yesterday, and just to check in on him. Look, he's not the only one experiencing form issues at the moment, and yeah, I think he's probably carrying a little bit of a burden there, but we want to relinquish that burden from him, and this is a team effort, and it's everyone's got to wear our performances right now, and I think focusing in on Nathan is not what we're going to do.
Tommy?
Yep.
Last off-season you went through, basically looked through the entire program to figure out what needed to be changed. Do you feel like any of those changes have worked so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've had some great success with some of those changes. I mean, we've had a horrific injury history in the past. We made some significant changes in that space in terms of our medical and performance team, and we've had one of the healthiest groups we've ever had coming into this season. We pivoted to a really younger group, which has been really positive. We've also really invested in the in the culture and leadership space, and I think that's one of the reasons that you hear from Simon right there that this group is really still very positive and still sticking together. And I think that work that we did in the off season there is really sort of coming through.
Do you sort of look at this team and consider the sort of basketball decision making and the personnel decision making as far as have you got everything right, do you feel?
Yeah, look, I mean, as Simon sort of mentioned there, we still feel incredibly positive about this group. We feel like, coming into this season, there was a lot of hype, a lot of energy, from outside and internally about the quality of this group. There's a lot of talent in there, and now it's about sort of bringing that to the forefront and letting them be the best athletes they can be. So we remain incredibly positive about this group. 0-5 is tough. No one's shying away from that. But we feel like the talent is there. We feel like this move will assist with bringing that out, and that this season is more than salvageable. We feel like we can still have a crack at it.
Can you give us an idea just specifically who's involved in the decision making on Mike? So yourself,
Absolutely.
Simon,
Yep.
is it just Romy? Is that like the trio?
Yeah, so myself along with ownership are responsible for the appointment of Mike Kelly, and that last off season, as you'll know, we made a significant change within the organisation to shift towards a GM of basketball to take responsibility for those decisions moving forward from that point. Simon is now in that role and taking responsibility for those decisions going forward.
you had applicants already? I know it's only been a short time.
A lot of
but it's
people,
obviously covered it.
yeah, I mean, that's a question for Simon, probably.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, the phone's been buzzing. Various levels of experience. Couple of domestic coaches from here at Knox, and right through to some really world-class people who have shown some interest. So, we'll take the time, collate that, and go through and get the person we feel can really take this team forward.
Yep.
Very good.
Okay, let's wrap it up there.
Absolutely. Thanks again very much.
Thank you, team. Thank you.
Cheers,
very
guys.
much.
And girls. Thank you.